Hello, welcome back to your mat and welcome back. I am at Lake Michigan at Portage Bay still. I decided to do a few classes here for you guys because I thought it was such a great backdrop of a spot. So hope you're enjoying these videos. And it's appropriate for today's class because today's class is all about yoga for stress relief. So this is helping to find your calm. So even if you're not in the mood to do a yoga class, you could always just sit and watch the video with the waves in the background. Hopefully you can hear them. But we're trying to find our calm and do a little stress relief with yoga. So for today's class, you would find it helpful to have one block. This is optional, so you don't necessarily have to have it, but if you do have one, go ahead and grab that. And then if you are at all interested in essential oils, or you have essential oils on hand, I highly recommend grabbing your favorite calming one. I highly recommend lavender. Lavender is a nice calming essential oil. It's not required for this class. It's not required to use. Essential oils, I find, are just another tool we can put in our toolkit. And I'm also not trying to sell you essential oils. So again, if you've got them and you want to use them and you want to add them or you want to buy some, then go for it. But this is really just another tool you can use. So we'll save that. We'll put that aside for now. That'll be toward the end of class. But lavender is one of my favorite for calming. So you can make a spray out of it. Lots of options with lavender. But pick your favorite if you have one. And if not, maybe a scented candle. You know, just pick something that has a nice aroma that will help you find your calm. So we will begin with a quote today. And it's actually a Sanskrit proverb. So Sanskrit is the language of yoga. So if you hear words, like different words, different names for poses in a different language, it's all spoken in Sanskrit. So this proverb is, for breath is life, and if you breathe well, you will live long on earth. So breath is really, really important in helping us to regulate our stress. So we're going to do that a little bit today too. So we're going to start seated. What we're really going to do is we're going to do some movement followed by some passively held poses. So we're going to do a little bit to move the energy and then to relax into a pose. So that's where we're going. Let's get started. So we're going to start seated and we're just going to open up the shoulders and the chest, because if you have any kind of stress whatsoever, this is almost always where we hold it. The chest and the shoulders, or at least I know that I do, especially my shoulders. So we're just going to clasp the hands behind our back. I'll turn sideways so you can see this. Clasp your hands behind your back and open up that chest. And if your hands don't clasp, you can always just reach them behind you and try to get them close to each other. So that's what we're going for here. And we're going to breathe nice and deep here, because remember, breath is life. So let's just open up, because so many of us, no matter what your job is, a lot of us do this. So we're working to do the absolute opposite. Open up the chest, shine bright. This is going to help your posture. This is going to help your breathing. This is going to help you find your calm, or at least that's my hope. So we're going to breathe here for a couple of rounds, opening that chest and just feeling how different that feels from maybe our normal thing that we might be doing all day. It's just a side effect of modern life. We have devices and we have just a lot of things that we do, desk jobs, not all of us obviously, but we all have things that we do that don't allow us to be open like this. So let's just open it up. And you'll find this will also help shift your energy too. It's really nice. Exhale and release that. And now we're going to go into our first little flow. So we're going to flow back and forth between two poses here. So we're going to I'm going to bring my left leg forward first. You can use your block here if you like. I'm going to skip it, but you always can. So we're going to, that back knee is going to be down. So my front knee is bent, and instead of being upright, we're going to bring the hands down to the ground here, and we're going to inhale and look out in front of us. So again, opening that chest, and then you're going to exhale, and you're just going to straighten that front leg, and then you're going to inhale and come back into that low lunge. So you can use a block here if you like, if your fingertips don't touch the ground especially when you come back. So if you have tight hamstrings, this might be hard to keep your hands on the ground. Alternatively, you have the option, inhale, and you can exhale and just bring your hands behind you. So to give yourself a little bit more strengthening there, maybe if you're really stressed, to kind of burn off some of that stressful energy. So you can also exhale and do that, straightening that front leg. You have options here. So we're gonna do this a few rounds. Kind of like the hands off of the ground option. I don't feel too stressed today, but I'm in a wonderful spot. I can't complain one bit about where we're at, so my stress level is pretty low. I find nature and water has a way of helping with that. So let's do one more round of that, and then we're gonna stay here in a moment. So then you're gonna exhale. I want you to stay now. So come on back, and you can sit on that back heel if you like. We can stay more upright, and we're just gonna keep this front leg straight. So we're kind of opening up into that hamstring, and now we're gonna come into this a little bit. So you could also untuck those back toes and sit back on that heel. So now you're gonna be a lot lower. You have options here though. So I'm gonna stay more upright and really just help open that hamstring. You can also take your foot and turn it side to side and see how that changes that stretch. So again, we're just gonna stay here for a few rounds. Just making sure I know what my next pose is and I don't lose my spot here. So you continue in that pose. Okay. And then we're gonna come all the way forward, and now we're gonna come back into a low lunge this time, but now we're gonna be more upright. And we will do all this on the other side. So for now, I'm just gonna go on one side. Actually, no, I'm gonna, let's change that up because I don't wanna fatigue the one leg. So we're gonna go ahead and bring that left foot forward, drop the hands down to the ground, and you know where we're going here. So I've got my toes tucked, you don't have to. And you're gonna come out, straighten that front leg. Inhale, bend it and look forward. Exhale, straighten. You can have hands down on the ground or off the ground. You can rev it up a little bit by having your hands off the ground, or if you feel like keeping the hands down, that is perfectly acceptable. Inhale once more, looking forward, and then exhale, and we're gonna just stay in this for a moment. So keep that left leg straight. So we're doing some movement to kind of help move some of that stress, that energy that we may have in us. And then we're staying for a moment to find some calm. Now, with my toes tucked on like this, and it's not very calming, I will say. So you can always come off of that a little bit. You can stay more upright, and then you can just fold forward here so you can really get that opening in your hamstrings. You are still working here a little bit though, so sometimes it's a nice combo of the relaxing but also moving the energy. All right, and now let's just come back to all fours for just a moment before we go to the other side, or before we do the next pose, starting with the first side. So go ahead and step forward now, and now we're gonna come into our low lunge, but this time we're gonna come upright. So we're gonna move between two poses here. The sun decided to pop out, so I'm gonna put my sunglasses on while I'm doing this. So pardon me. So we got our low lunge. And inhale and raise your arms up if you like. You can cactus them. And then on the exhale, we're gonna do a little twist here. We're gonna bring that right hand behind us and that left arm up, almost like you were doing a twisted reverse warrior, if you know what reverse warrior is. So we're bending back, but we're also in a twist here. And then we're gonna come back to our low lunge. So arms can be wherever you like. You'll leave those up. And then you're just gonna exhale, you're twisting to the right, bringing that right hand down onto your left leg, and your left arm is coming up and over. And now you're opening this left side body. Feel free to look at the video if that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm not sure how else to explain it to make sense. Inhale, and then exhale into that reverse twist. And then from here, you're gonna drop both of your hands to the inside of that front foot. So go ahead and move that out to the side. And here's where a block could come in handy if you find that's needed. Because now we're coming into lizard, or I've also heard it called dragon. I guess it depends on whether it's a yen class or... Anyways, we won't get into all the different names because it changes depending on which type of yoga you're doing. As if it isn't already confusing enough. So you can stay more upright, or if you feel like you have it and you want to, you can come down on your forearms. If you're really open, you can bring your forearms down to the ground. That is probably a lot for some of us, especially since we haven't done a lot of warm-up. This is a short class. So go ahead and find where you need to be here. But this is intense, but man, it can really cut through any tension and stress that you might be carrying in your hips. It's a really good one. You'll feel better afterwards. You may be hating me right now in the pose, but you will feel so much better afterwards. You can always back off if you need to. Take another inhale there. If you like any of these poses that we're holding for a few breaths and you want to stay in them longer, feel free to pause the video or put them away and come back to them later and stay in them longer. I recommend that. And then we're going to come out and we're going to do that whole sequence all over again on the left side. So from the all fours, we're going to step that left foot forward and come into our low lunge. Arms rise up overhead. And then you're going to exhale and bringing that left arm behind me on my right leg. And now my right arm is up and over. And do a nice little opening here to the side body. Bending back. Twisted. Okay, inhale, come back to your low lunge. Exhale, reverse, low warrior. I don't really know what the name of this would be. So if you know, please let me know. Inhale, come back to your low lunge. Exhale. And once more, inhale into that low lunge. Exhale, twist. And then exhale and bring everything back. Hands are now framing the inside of that left leg. Block is handy here. We're going to come into this pose and we're going to hold it for a few breaths. So you can always stay more upright. This may be where you're at and this is perfect. But if you want a little more, if you feel like you got that, then go ahead and come forward a little bit more. And again, this lizard or dragon, whichever it's called, it's a fiery pose. It's definitely intense, but it can help burn through. This is what we really need, is to burn through the stress. So there's a lot of different ways to handle stress and to find your calm. And some of that would be all restorative practices and poses, and I love those too. But sometimes you just need to burn it off. And we're still also going to have a couple of more relaxing poses too. So stay with me for another breath or two here. The good thing is this will not last forever. And then go ahead and come all the way out of that. And come and sit back on your heels for just a moment and let yourself kind of recalibrate after that pose. And next, I just want to see what we're going next so I don't miss something. Okay. So from here, we're going to bring the left leg out. Actually, we'll do the right leg out first. So we're going to inhale here, get nice and tall, and then on the exhale, you're going to twist. Actually, I'm doing it the wrong way, I think. Yeah. See, I thought I had this figured out. So we're going to twist. Yeah, we're going to twist to the left. I suddenly was like, what am I doing? It happens. Our brains don't always work the way we want them to. So we're going to twist to the left. Open up really well there. And then exhale. And you're going to plant that left hand and you're going to rise your hips up and bring that right arm overhead. So now we're opening up the side body here. And we're going to float between those two poses. So exhale, come back down, twist to the left. Exhale, lift your hips up and open up any amount here. Just really let go whatever might be that needs to be let go of. Inhale, look to the left. Exhale, plant that left arm. Rise those hips up. Close your eyes if you feel like it. And exhale, come down. And then we're going to stay in our pose. And all we're going to do is come over, fold over that right leg. Any amount. So if you want to come further down, go ahead, go for it. And just release everything into this pose. Let all of it go into the mat. Kind of let it just drape off of you and drip into your mat. And I have a cork mat, so that's great. It can handle liquid and, so whatever you have. And whether you have a regular mat or a cork mat, just imagine all of that is just going into your mat and releasing all of that, whatever tension, stress, whatever you may have. And then we're going to come back up and we'll go to the other side. So same thing, other side. Left leg is out. Twist over to your right. And then exhale and rise those hips up. Bring that left arm up. Exhale down. Twist to that right. Exhale, rise the hips up. Inhale, twist to the right. Exhale. And rise it all up. And then from there, seated here. And once more, we're going to fold over that right leg. Any amount, and imagine all of the tension, all of the stress just leaving your body here. And notice I said imagine, because we all know reality is what it is. And if it was just that easy just to have it all drip off of us, we'd all be, footloose, fancy free, and calm as a cucumber. But that's not real life. But these practices help in their small ways to help us release even for a little bit. Take another inhale and exhale. Release all of that. Come all the way back up. And now, if you happen to have your essential oil, go ahead and grab it. And if you don't, no big deal. Maybe you have a scented candle, that's fine too. One way I like to use the essential oils is I like to just simply open the bottle and just take a nice little inhale and let it come across both my nostrils. I like to close my eyes when I do that. So if you have that, or just imagine your favorite scent, maybe just scent of fresh roses. And replace the cap. If you are using essential oils, they are a really potent and powerful tool you can add to your toolkit. They're not super expensive. You want to find high quality ones, I will premise it with that. So keep that in mind. If you go out and look for essential oils, find the high quality ones. If they're super cheap, they're probably not really good. And then from here, you can lie back into Shavasana if you like, which I highly recommend. That's a great way to calm and find your calm and just relax. Or if you'd like to stay seated, because maybe Shavasana doesn't work for you or you don't want to go into Shavasana, then you can join me for alternate nostril breathing. You can also do that lying down in Shavasana if you'd like. So you decide. I'm going to stay upright, talk you through alternate nostril breathing, which is a nice balancing breath to just help find your calm. So whether you're lying down or seated, take your right hand, go ahead and fold your first two fingers in. Now you've got your thumb and your ring finger, and you're going to use those to close off your nostrils. So right now, we're going to breathe through both nostrils and exhale through both. Close off the right with your thumb and breathe in with your left. Breathe in through your left nostril. Close off your left, open up your right, and exhale through your right nostril. Inhale through the same nostril. So your right nostril, you're going to inhale through that one. Close it off with your thumb, and then exhale through the left. And that's one round. So let's go again. Now we're going to inhale on the left. Close that off. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the same nostril. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left nostril, so the same one that we just exhaled. Close it off and exhale through the right. Do a few more on your own. Inhaling through one nostril, closing it off, exhaling through the opposite nostril, and then breathing in through that same nostril, closing that off, and exhaling through the opposite. So do that a few rounds on your own. I highly recommend closing your eyes while you're doing this. If you're lying down, you can also do this, or you can just simply breathe at your normal pace. When you have finished exhaling through your left nostril, go ahead and drop your hands and close your eyes. And we're going to have a moment of quiet here. I will keep an eye on the time, so you just enjoy and stay in that moment. We're going to stay here for 1 minute of quiet. I'll let you know when the time is up. Remember to breathe at your own pace. Feel the calm washing over your body. For those that have more time, please stay there and ignore my cues. For those of you who are wishing you had more time, I'm sorry for the interruption, but it's time for me to close up this video. Thank you so much for taking this time to have a little stress relief in your life and find your calm. It's so important that we do this, because then we're able to show up as better people in other aspects of our lives if we can just find ways to manage the stress that's an inevitable part of life. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking care of yourself.